It's not white privilege. It's me working and having generational wealth.
In the same way that if I go to Dubai or Turkey, where it's like strong Muslim, I shouldn't be overpowering my English Christian views there, because it's like respect, you know?
Fair enough, like, there's an argument that we stole some things off the Indians. I get that. But at the end of the day, we were able to capitalise it and bring it to the mass, yeah? And that's what we were excelled in.
It's been a great year for reform. They won 4 million votes at the general election, they returned 5 MPs to Parliament, and only one of them has done jail time for assaulting a partner. There's clearly a lot to celebrate, so I've come to Party Conference to meet the members. What are we doing here today?
What am I doing here today? I'm going to the Reform Conference.
You've come a long way.
I come from Aberdeen in Scotland. I think it's very important to be here and turn up to give the party the support it needs, as I think Britain is on the verge of collapse if something doesn't change soon, because I don't think the infrastructure can cope with the, shall we say, the ever-increasing population. That's the problem.
How's your Reform Conference been?
It's been an amazing experience. First conference I've ever been to, anything like it, and it has been amazing. So many people that all think alike, and it's been so friendly, and it's been good fun as well. I think fun has been the key.
So I'm very patriotic. I see that our country has Judeo-Christian values, and that is one of the reasons fundamentally why we've prospered throughout history. If you look at the amount of inventions, there's a great stat that was put out: 51% of all inventions, were invented by British people. But if you look at the triangle, there's a big triangle which goes between it's in Europe to the UK, and the vast majority, overriding majority of inventions were invented in those countries.
What's your highlight been?
Probably it had to be Nigel's speech. But Anne Widdecombe was fantastic as usual, wasn't she? She's just an amazing speaker. I think it's probably Nigel's speech. Even his farewell speech actually was pretty good. Yeah, you left there with something in your heart. I think he leaves a part of him on the stage for all of us, doesn't he, when he speaks.
We've got a diverse amount of history coming in, Anglo-Saxons, Celts, the Romans. We've got a huge amount of history. We've got Chatsworth House. We've got all of these beautiful, amazing buildings, yeah? So that's our pillar, our history. We brought the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution was made in Manchester, yeah? It was made in Manchester. I went to the Manchester Museum, and I couldn't actually believe, the cloth industry, everything. We brought so many inventions to the UK. Fair enough, like, there's an argument that we stole some things off the Indians. I get that. But at the end of the day, we were able to capitalise it and bring it to the mass, yeah? And that's what we were excelled in. So we've got the Industrial Revolution. We've got the sports that I've just mentioned to you. The suit, Savile Row. The suit that everyone wears in this, in this day and age. It's the principal business. The principal business attire, yeah, that everyone wears every single day. That is an English-made design.
What would you change about Britain?
In policy, we do, the same as, the reform message is we need to tighten up these border controls. They're the cause of all the other ills of the country. The housing, the cost of living, and everything else that people are complaining about is the main cause, the amount of people here.
Well, I've been a member of the Tory party for a long while, big Thatcher supporter when I was younger, a long while ago. And I think the Tories have moved to kind of more woke policies, kind of more left-wing policies. And I started looking around for an alternative, finally quit the Tory party about a year ago now.
What are the woke policies that the Tories have turned to?
Well, they've just ignored most normal people's concerns regarding immigration. They're not having an honest debate about that. I think they've allowed certain institutions to be captured by, so for example, just yesterday, and this is obviously under the Labour government now, but just yesterday it was reported that the Foreign Office were flying the bisexual flag. With all the problems we've got in the world, the Foreign Office choose to fly that flag.
Absolutely, because in a free democratic society, we have to tolerate. We have to make that. Everybody has a choice to live their own lives, do what they like if they're an adult. We don't and shouldn't celebrate it. Because, for example, the pride, nothing against the pride flag as such, but certain religions, that is very offensive to them. So should it be cover the streets? Should it? For me, the only thing that should cover the streets is the Union Jack, because that incorporates everything that is what this country is about, everything that is democratic, everything that a person is free to do, free to believe, free to believe what religion is, how they live their lives as they're an adult, what they do with themselves, how they dress, everything. That should be what it is.
There's too many people coming to the country and the services can't take it. You know, this whole issue as well, I work in the wastewater sector, the whole issue with sewage overflows, and we have sewage overflows going into rivers. It's because the networks can't take the amount of people that are coming onto the grid. For me personally, in my opinion, any new developments should finance their own in-house sewage treatment works, but it's all blamed on the water companies, and we're scapegoating the water companies because of this, and it's not fair on the water companies.
News as it should be.
Apart from immigration, which of reformist policies are you particularly pleased with?
Well, I just think UKIP is the answer to so many things. I mean, the LBGQ, whatever it is, that needs to be controlled. I mean, every company is struggling at the moment, and there's so many rules and regulations. We voted to come out of the European Union, Common Market in my day, and we haven't done anything. We're still abiding by all the rules. I mean, and as for this fallacy of the shall we say, the world collapsing because of all the pollution. Well, the world has spent its life changing. It's not it's difficult to explain. I can understand what people think it is. Having been in the motor industry a long time myself, cars are not the problem, and the world has always changed.
How's conference gone?
Very, very enlightening. I've had to leave early simply because I've got a family commitment. I was here all day yesterday. And I've basically been chasing up my applications to stand for a councillor in reform as well. So yeah.
You've heeded Nigel's call for to stand.
I've applied to stand. To start the ball off. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
What made you want to stand as a councillor?
I think for me it's a matter of conscience. I think to stand by and do nothing is now. It's not an option because it simply becomes part of the problem.
I think also multiculturalism only works if people adapt to your own country, if that makes sense. So it's like, for the example is, I'm a Christian, so's him. England used to be quite, Christian based, it had values. And I think if you're immigrating to this country, you should have tried to adapt to it in the same way that if I go to Dubai or Turkey, where it's like strong Muslim, I shouldn't be overpowering my English Christian views there, because it's like respect, Yeah, that sort of thing. And I think we've gone a bit too soft on it now, to the point it's potentially dangerous to speak out in your own country and home a little bit. Yeah.
Your point about Dubai, I suppose people who move to Dubai, they still drink, which obviously is against Islam.
It's wrong. Do you think so? I think it's wrong.
So when I went to university, so I've got 3 degrees. I work in the professional industry. I do very well. I've worked and grafted hard. Yeah, fair enough, I've got some generational wealth, which people say is white privilege. It ain't white privilege, mate, yeah. It is my fathers, yeah, working hard, grafting on the farms, handing the wealth down, because my family have been here for generations. It's not white privilege, it's generational wealth. Yeah, I've had a bit of help. I could have had more help. I've had something trickle fed to me, but I've worked and grafted hard. It's not fucking white privilege. Sorry, I've just sworn it. But I'm getting passionate about this now. It's not white privilege. It's me working and having generational wealth, and just so happens that white Caucasian people have lived here and are the ethnic group. If I go to Ancestry DNA and I get my DNA done, it tells me exactly what my DNA is, right? So it's not racist to say. It's not racist to say, the ethnic. The ethnic culture, or the ethnic diversity, like racial profile in this country is Caucasian. Because if I go on Ancestry DNA, it tells me what my DNA is. It tells me whether I'm Scottish or English. Yeah. So
have you done that?
Yeah, I've done that.
What's your breakdown?
I'm 40% Scottish, and we already knew this anyway, because I'm a direct descendant of the clan members of the Elliott clan. So the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th clan members, I'm a direct descendant of that. We already knew that anyway. So,
which Christian values would you like to see more of in this country?
I believe the unselfishness that it brings. So the fact that you would get up early, you go to church. I also think that we miss the community side. So back in the days, it used to be that neighbours all knew each other. you knew that if you were a kid and you played up, you knew that you were going to see the neighbours at church. So your parents knew our parents, and you'd find, I think you're more well behaved, you know, because you all knew each other, and if there was any problems, any disrespect, you could just sort it at church. But now no one knows each other, no one really respects each other, and it's sad. It's more because it's sad, it's not because there's a hate for it, it's just I think you've lost the whole sense of community and family, and a lot of people are probably stressed and have hate for each other because they just don't know each other, rather than, yeah.